Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so happy to have you here today on Reach Out. It is Tuesday, and we are super excited to have you here. You know, it is better to train early rather than to fix later. And our theme for this month is reaching out for education, reaching out for education. So we are excited to have you here with us today. Make sure that you go in and like, comment, and share as we go through our topic today, because we want to make sure that individuals are able to share in this great information that we are going to have on here today. So share, like, and comment. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube page. You know, sometimes technical things go on. So if you can't get me on Facebook, you'll be able to get me on YouTube. So please subscribe to my YouTube page. That's Feel Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith. And I appreciate it so much. Good evening and welcome, Elder Lewis. How are you today?
I am fine. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm excited to get ready to talk about our topic. But before we do that, we want everybody to hear a little bit about you. I know you've been here before, but hopefully we have some new people on here. So please tell us about yourself and what you like to do.
Okay. Well, I graduated from Florida A&M University. I taught for 30 years in the public school system, as well as being a child care trainer for 20 plus years. I also served as the director of Christian education at our church. I'm an ordained minister, and I enjoy reading, teaching, writing, sewing, and gardening. I do a little bit of gardening. Get my exercise in.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. But we are delighted to have you back. And today, Elder Lewis and I are going to be talking about let the wise hear. Let the wise hear. You know, a wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. And that comes from Proverbs 1:5, and that's the New King James Version. Those who embody wisdom listen. They don't always try to talk over everybody, know everything or whatever, but they will listen so that they can increase their learning. And then those who understand enough to know that they don't know everything will engage someone else to assist them by asking that person questions and use that person to speak on their behalf. And that's their wise counsel.
Yes.
Yes. So, Orzie, how important is it to seek knowledge as a young person or older person?
It is important for us, whether we are young or old, to seek knowledge, because it is light and enlightenment. Knowledge has to do with the amount of understanding that we have. and it gives us the ability to reason and recognize truth. This strengthens us mentally and spiritually, as well as aids us in our success in life. This is why I think we should all seek knowledge.
All right. That's awesome. So we should all seek knowledge. So, don't think, I'm 20 now, 21. I don't need to listen to anybody. I don't need to know anything. I know everything. Or if I turn 40, I got it now. I'm 60, I got it. We can all learn. So that's a part of who we are. We can continue to learn, be lifelong learners.
Exactly.
Yes. So please give your perspective on individuals needing wise counsel, even when they have wisdom.
Well, we need wise counsel, even when we have wisdom, because we don't know everything. We don't know everything. We haven't experienced everything. Wisdom is insight and the ability to discern inner qualities. Wisdom also works hand in hand with knowledge, and we need both of them. So wise counsel is needed to guide us and to help keep our plans from going astray. Wise counsel help us to establish who we are. Sometimes we think we know ourselves, but when we're around wise counselor, they will point out something that we've missed about ourselves. It also teaches us how to discipline ourselves and manage our affairs at different stages of our lives. It's somewhat like the prayer of serenity, because that came to mind just thinking about this. And the prayer of serenity says that God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So wise counsel models for us and explains differences because of the experience there. So no matter how much knowledge we acquire, we also need wise counsel since we don't know everything.
Oh. Yes. So we don't know everything. Remember that, everybody. We don't know. I don't care how many degrees you have behind your name. You don't know everything.
That's true.
And when you realize that, that's even showing wisdom, that you don't know everything. I just want to say good evening to Deacon Holmes, Agnes Copeland, Dan Smith, Tony Levette. Thank you all for tuning in as we talk about Let the Wise Hear. Thank you so much. There are several ways that people can learn and grow in wisdom. Some of these ways are by their experience, and when you say experience, that can be the hard way. So a lot of times, we find that, well, I'm grown. I'm 21 now. I don't want to listen. And so you don't listen to people and you find out things the hard way. So if that's what you choose, that's what you choose. But that's one way that you can get wisdom. And believe me, you will learn. Another way is by imitating others. You see people around you and you're like, okay, that person, they always have a smile on their face. They're always talking in an even tone. I like how they interact with others. I would like to be more like that person. Maybe I can talk to them. I think that person is an educator or that person is into music. And I would like to, do some of the things that they do. Maybe I can go and talk to them. They might want to mentor me or tell me, what some things I can do. So we can imitate people. So it's not that you're trying to be like others, but there's somebody that's in the same field that you think that you would like to go into. So that's a way to learn. And then you can learn by reflection. So sometimes stop and think, what have I done? Where am I trying to go? Get in that quiet time and listen for God to tell you some things, but you can reflect and get wisdom as well. So please tell us how, in your opinion, someone can use reflection, imitating, or experience, or some other method to grow in wisdom, and then is it beneficial? Excuse
Oh,
me.
oh, okay. Just to follow up with what you were saying, when we talk about these different ways to grow in wisdom, along with the fact that we also need to study. That's how we obtain knowledge. Um, let's kind of look back over what you just shared, and then I'll add contemplation. Um, with reflection, I feel like this has to do with thoughts, ideas, and opinions formed as a result of meditation. And this gives us partial understanding. When we look at imitating, this is where we follow a pattern or a model or an example. And this takes us to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, which says, God made man in his image or likeness. And then when speaking of Christianity, we are the image of God and imitate him and Christ Jesus. Sometimes we model after those who are in place as wise counsel to us. Then we look at experience. This has to do with basic knowledge that we gain from personal encounters, participating in things, and also from observation. When we look at contemplation, this is the one that I'm adding to your list. And with contemplation, here we focus our thoughts on spiritual things, our personal devotion. We are intentional in our reading and our studying and concentration during this particular time. And finally, I'd like to say that we can ask God for wisdom, as it says in James chapter 1, verse 5. It's beneficial that we grow in wisdom because we learn how to discipline ourselves. We also learn how to, be alone, to be still, to listen, to be calm, and how to control our thoughts. And when we read 2 Corinthians 10:5, this tells us how that we should take all thoughts captive. So when we learn to do these things that you and I just mentioned, and we sit quietly, just be still. It's like you gotta like yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't have to fall in love with yourself, but you gotta like yourself to be by yourself. And I do know some people that don't like to be by themselves, but I don't have a problem being alone. It gives me a chance to really listen. Sometimes you can sit outside, and I've sat outside in the cool and just watch ants, and then you can hear the rustling of the trees and different things that are going on. So it's good to be alone sometimes, but like I said, you gotta like yourself to be alone.
Most definitely. Yes. I like that, spending time with yourself, because we get in such a hurry, have this to do and that to do. But if you don't stop, like you said, I like when you started out talking about studying. If we don't stop and study the word and then spend time trying to understand, because we can read and, just read to say, oh yeah, I read the Bible, I read it every day. But are you taking time to reflect and understand what you're reading?
Exactly. Because it does say that the word, is a light for our path. Mm-hmm. It's a lamp unto our feet and a light to our path. And that's true. That means it enlightens our mind. Yes. It gives us direction. And it's so important that we have that. And we have to take time and do that. We sometimes want things so quickly. We are part of the microwave generation. But I'm here to tell you, the older I get, the less microwave I'm doing. And a good example of that is just taking the time working in the yard. I used to do it all in one day. Now I do it in stages. Do a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow. And next week I can get the rest of it. And that's pretty much how it is when when we're spending time to gain the wisdom that we need. It takes time.
Yes, takes time. And I don't see any comments in here, but I hope everyone does agree that, it takes time to learn, and we want to, of course, learn wisdom. Because it's nothing like, you have a situation and you just lost, you don't know what to do because you don't have the wisdom or discernment enough to just sit and talk to God and wait for him to talk back to you and answer you. You just lose it. So, part of that is, not having that wisdom. Because I know you've heard it before, so did you not take the time to listen? Or, they're talking and I hear what they're saying, but that's not for me. So, so we need
I always tell people it's a difference to hear. Hear means you hear sound. But to listen means that you are actively listening to what somebody's saying so that you can respond. So there's a difference. When you listen to something, you actually hear something.
Right. Yep. So we need to do more listening and hearing exactly what's being said and not have all them thoughts and things going on in our minds about what we're going to do next, because we got stuff we got to do. We're not listening.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, tell us a few things you would tell your younger self about listening to those with wisdom.
I thought about this and I would tell my younger self that listening to those with wisdom is a good thing. And it's a good thing because we can go back to King Solomon when he was a child. He prayed to God asking for an understanding heart, because when he became king, he was really too young to rule, even though he had wise counsel. Because when you study, he did have someone there with him. But it's important that he himself had wisdom enough to know, I can't do this alone, Lord. And so that was his prayer for God to just give him that heart that he needed to rule wisely. And in doing so, God was so pleased with him that he blessed him with even more, because he didn't ask for anything else. That's what he was concerned about. And that's pretty much the way I feel we should be even now. And talking to my younger self, I would also share with my younger self that it helps to be successful when you take the time to listen, because in a lot of instances, your wise counsel and all have experience that we haven't had yet. And that does make a difference. Okay, and so that's really important. The other thing I would share with my younger self is the importance of accepting certain things in life. There are times as a younger person, there's certain things you don't want to do, you don't want to accept. And I think we all go through those stages as young people that, look, I'm a certain age now. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. So, And so that's why I think it's a good idea to learn to accept certain things from other people and certain things in life. And finally, I would like to say that learn the value of active listening and patience, because when we're younger, there's a tendency, because we think we have the answers, we kind of out-talk whoever's speaking to us. We kind of out-talk them, try to out-talk them. And then we want to do something, we want to do it right now. And so that's not always possible to do that. Okay, so I think those are the things I would tell my younger self. Just learn to actively listen, to be patient, and remember King Solomon at such a young age, to be like him, be humble enough to ask for help.
All right. Those are some wise tips. So thank you for the sharing those with us. You know, it's really, really important. You like you said, the value of active listening, and we talked about that before. You know, it's a difference in somebody's talking and whether you're getting that information or not. So that active listening and really taking that in and thinking about it and utilizing it. Because I can think about a lot of lessons my mom would try to tell me, and I'm like saying to myself, yeah, okay, all right.
What did it say? It go in one ear and what?
Out the other.
Right out the other one.
Yep. But boy, did she know what she was talking about.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yep.
Yes. All right. So can you please share 4 or 5 nuggets of wisdom that will assist our young men in being successful as they attempt to build their best lives?
The nuggets I'd like to share of wisdom with young men as they successfully strive to build their best lives. The first would be making mistakes is a part of life. Don't sweat it, because that's a part of life and that's a part of living when you make mistakes. I'd also share that it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Don't get frustrated because you need help, you can't do something, or you know how to do it, but you need someone to go along with you to help. Sometimes we know how to do something, but it calls for partnership. So my advice would be ask for help and don't be ashamed of asking for help. The third thing would be have the courage to try something new. Just because you've been doing a certain thing a certain way and it worked for you as a young man, there's nothing wrong with trying something new. Then I like Proverbs chapter 8, verse 11, New King James, which says, "For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things one may desire cannot be compared with her." This means no matter what we get, the amount of material things, anything like that, it's no good if we don't have wisdom. It's like someone winning the lottery. You can win the lottery, but if you don't have the wisdom and knowledge how to manage the money, it'll be gone in a year or sooner. So it's a good thing to value wisdom. And finally, embrace knowledge and wisdom because they are a blessing for a successful life. Pick up a book, read. Not only picking up a book and reading, sometimes if you don't have the time to read, they do have some books on CD. Mm-hmm. So you can listen to it while you're doing whatever you have to do. I enjoy listening to scriptures. I have the Bible, but sometimes I like to be read to. It's like when you're little and you have your parent to read a story to you. So I enjoy sometimes just listening to the Bible being read to me. That's enjoying life and relaxing. So that's what I would tell them. Just enjoy and embrace knowledge and wisdom. Embrace it. Don't run from it.
All right. All right. Those are some awesome tips. I hope that everyone was listening to all of these and can share them with someone else. And that's, one of all of them are very realistic and you hear them, but people many times will fail because they don't want to ask someone for help. And like you said, it's okay. If you don't know, how are you going to learn if you don't ask? It's okay to ask.
Exactly. And that's important. I mean, there's nothing wrong and there's no reason to be ashamed, because it goes back to what we said earlier. We don't know everything. And it doesn't matter how long we live, we always learn something new or a different way of doing what we've always done. And sometimes people can show us a shortcut. We've been doing it one way, they'll show us another way. So all of that is so important.
Right. You know, and some, people who will fail, like in classes or whatever, because they sit there and the professor is just teaching or the teacher is teaching and they know they don't know, and y'all have it, y'all got it. Everybody else saying yes. You know you don't have it, but you sit there, yeah, and walk right out the class instead of saying, you know what I mean? If you don't want to say it then, wait till after class and say, excuse me, if you have some extra time, I really, I'm not getting that,
But you know something about that? I always tell people, don't be ashamed to ask questions when you're in a class, because 9 times out of 10, there is someone sitting right there that would like the answer to the question that you're asking, but they just don't want anyone to know that they don't know, so they won't ask questions.
All right.
And so ask your question. Don't be ashamed. Again, you're not the only one that needed. Somebody else sitting there too. They just won't ask.
Yeah. It is okay to ask. Like, it's okay to make mistakes, because you're going to learn, So you made a mistake. At least you were trying. That'd be different if you never tried anything. So you never made any mistakes, but you weren't making any progress in your life because you never tried anything. So that's not good. So, all of that is okay. And reading.
And that's how we learn. We learn by trial and error.
Yeah. All right. And, and that reading, oh my goodness, it's just so much you can learn from just reading. You can go different places in the world. You learn about people. It's just anything that you want to know. There's a book, a genre of books that's out there that you can get that information. Reading is relaxing. I just love reading.
Yeah. It's really good to be able to do that. I often laugh to myself sometimes when I buy a new book. I said, well, when I leave this dear world, my son is going to have to decide what is he going to do with all these books. But prayerfully, he will go through and see what he would like to keep in there and just give them away. Don't sell them, give them away.
Yep. Yes, it's amazing. So we had some wonderful tips here today. So like I said, I hope everyone will share this with someone, or tell them about it so that they can go and get this information, because if the information is there but nobody knows it's there, can't help them. So if you want to help someone, share the information, because that's what it's all about, sharing. There's nothing here that's a secret. It's all about reaching out and assisting our young men, even our young ladies, to learn, overcome obstacles, build up their lives. And what things that we talked about today, those are some obstacles. Not listening, not following wisdom. When people talk to you, it goes in one ear and out the other. All of that is tips that can help you. Yes. And I know, probably nobody on here is, but I know anybody that was in Elder Lewis's class when she was in the classroom, they got some good teaching, because I know as being over Christian education and then in the classroom, I mean, everybody wanted to be in her class. Her class would be too full.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, we cannot forget your ability to teach and how creative you are now. You're very creative. Very.
Thank you. Yeah.
And your leadership skills are fantastic. And that comes from your years of experience. So again, years of experience, being around people who model for you, wise counsel, all of that has benefited both of us.
Yes.
So it's been a blessing for those that God has put in our lives, and it has been a blessing over the years that you and I have become friends all these years. And so we thank God that we still are.
That's right. We still in the number. We still clicking.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a blessing.
Yes. All right. So everybody, please make sure that you visit my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org. And out there, you can read my blog that comes out each Monday at 10 a.m. You can look at the calendar of events that has all the activities for the year out there. So you can put them on your calendar or see who will be our speakers or whatever. And then, of course, look at my store for the services that I offer, which is speaking, webinar speaking, coaching, consultations. And you can also get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. And it is about your life, your actions, and your credibility, overcoming obstacles to build your best life. So you can get an autographed copy of this book just by going to my website. And if you like Kindle version instead, you can go to Amazon.com and get your Kindle version. But it is a great book, and I guarantee you will not regret it. If you read it, you will find it a great tool that you will want to share with someone else, pass it on. And it makes a great gift, because that's a gift that keeps on giving, because you can read a book and then you'll be thinking about something that you want to do. And it's like, okay, let me go back to this book because there was something in there and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like Elder Lewis, I got books everywhere, but I think it's an investment, because you
yes, it is.
And review and look at them and read them again. So it's all good.
Yes, I agree.
All right. So, Elder Lewis, is there anything that you would like to share before we leave that you thought of?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for inviting me to participate and trusting me to do so. It's always a pleasure and an honor to do that. And hey, we all need wise counsel from time to time, no matter our age.
Yes. So don't forget that if you don't take anything else away today, remember that regardless of your age, our wise counsel is always helpful. So please join us Thursday for Thursday Live with Coach Deborah. And my topic is going to be There Are Lessons Everywhere. There are lessons everywhere. And that's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, formerly Twitter. So please join us. And again, thank you so much for tuning in today. And Sister Lewis, thank you so much, because anytime I ask you, if you're not busy, you're here. So thank you so much. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day and be blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.